What's up? I'm Simple. This is the Spies deck that I've been playing with for the past couple of days. I've had a moderate success with it. I'm really enjoying playing it. It's a really fun deck. It's about putting as much strength on the board as possible, and there's a lot of combo cards and stuff for you to do that. Let's talk about core concepts of the deck, though. This is a pretty high skill cap deck. If you're new to the game, I don't suggest you play this deck. I think that you are better off learning a easier deck that's more straightforward. This deck has a lot of math involved as well, so if you don't like math, this isn't the deck for you. If you don't like math, it might not be the game for you, though. There's a ton of strength swings that you have to keep track of. I'm still bad at it. If you watch my stream, you know that I'm still bad at it, and I'm trying to get better. Anyway, so let's talk about the cards themselves. We have most of this deck is based around combo cards and synergy between them. The biggest combo is Cantarella, Operator, Decoy. So I'm going to call it COD combo for short from now on, just so I don't have to say it all. The Cantarella, Operator, Decoy, aka COD combo, is super awesome. It gives you 2-card advantage, and you deck thin by 3 cards. So the way it works is you Operator Cantarella, that gives them a Cantarella, and then they play their Cantarella on your side of the board, and you decoy that Cantarella back at them. So you're giving them a 1-card draw, but you're getting that card draw back. So you're not actually giving them card advantage. And then you have 2 Cantarellas to play yourself. Obviously, at the end of this, you can Calvi it whenever it's appropriate. There's synergy with other cards as well to get this combo. So Stefan is obvious. You want to fish for the combo in the beginning of the game, but if you don't get the combo, you can get Stefan potentially and pull out your missing piece. You always want to prioritize Cantarella and Operator. So even if you don't have Decoy, having Cantarella and Operator is still good. You can also Stefan up, say, Operator and use Vilgefortz to get the combo this round. You can also Stefan up Operator and use Joachim. Joachim pulls Operator potentially, so you can do that as well to get it in the same round. If you have, say, Operator and Decoy and you don't have Cantarella, or maybe you have Operator and Cantarella and you don't have Decoy, you can Stefan Decoy, potentially lose the round on purpose, and then just go with the combo next round. So that's the COD combo. There's one other thing. Xarthisius has a bit of synergy with this combo. Xarthisius is good in general, but you can play Xarthisius before you Operator. So you're basically going to know what card they're going to draw next with their Cantarella that they're going to play. I like that synergy a lot. It's not always super useful, but sometimes it can be pretty cool. The next big combo is Impera Brigade. So the way that Impera Brigade works is that they gain 3 strength for each spying unit, which is huge considering we have 6 spies that are 2 strength apiece. So you can kind of think of these spies as you're giving them 2 strength, but you are gaining 9 strength. So 3 for each brigade, 3, 6, 9. So 2 for 9, and then if you have Calviate, you can pull them as well, but you're not always going to use Calviate. A lot of times you're going to use Brigade, and you're going to out-strength them without even having to use Calviate. So that's super awesome. All of your spies, the bigger spies as well, and Cantarella as well, give Brigade +3 strength as well. You're going to have some super huge Brigade. The biggest thing that I can say about Brigade is don't be too greedy with them. You're going to have several really strong units, so you're vulnerable to things like Scorch and Gigny, so just stagger them. Try not to go all out and put them all at the same strength, because that's bad. Alba Spearman. So there's one reason why Alba Spearman is in the deck right now, and that's because I kept running into the situation where I would play an Emissary, and it would end up pulling an Ambassador, or it would end up pulling a Combat Engineer, and I would have nothing on my board that I had played. If you're doing the Cantarella combo, you have Operator on your board, but you might not have that combo, or you might have already used it and you're in the next round. So you can use Alba Spearman as a body so that you can Emissary, and if it does pull an Ambassador or if it does pull a Combat Engineer, you have something to use that card on. So Spearman is just another body for that specific reason. Roach kind of works the same way. if you have a gold card, if you play Stefan, you have that body now, so that you can play Emissary without being afraid of wasting cards. I've casually had like a 30-something strength Roach from Emissaries and pulling Ambassadors and stuff, and then just like Combat Engineering Roach to the next round. It's kind of funny. Kind of funny, Roach MVP. So now Letho is awesome in this deck right now. You could say that he's kind of meta dependent, but the meta right now is super geared towards having units that persist through other rounds. I'm talking about dwarfs, I'm talking about monsters, I'm talking about Skellige discard. So with Letho, you can banish Morkvarg, you can banish Olgierd with Skellige, you could banish all 3 Mahakim defenders for dwarfs, you can banish Neckers for consume monsters. Also, Letho gives them 1 strength, and it gives you 9 strength for the same reason, because if you play it on their side of the field, he's a spy, so he's giving you 3 strength for each of your brigade. So Letho is great. Letho combos well with D-Bomb. You could potentially, something that I've been doing lately that I just find fun, and I just love it. I love it so much, and it wins me games. But you can D-Bomb Bork and then banish him with Letho. That is awesome against NR, because if you D-Bomb Bork and then you Thunder him, they'll just res Bork again, unless it's in the last 3 turns. So you can Thunder Bork in the last 3 turns, but if you banish Bork with Letho, they can't res him again. So it's potentially game-winning in that way as well. Obviously, if you want to steal strength with Letho, you can with Letho into D-Bomb combo. If you're gonna do it on the ranged row, you're gonna wanna try to D-Bomb Letho before you play Cantarellas. So you have to think ahead. Like I said before, this is a high skill cap deck, so there's a lot of things to think about. Sometimes you have to be a little careful. If you're playing against consume monsters, they're literally just gonna eat Letho. If you eat a lot of strength on Letho, they're gonna eat him with the Chimera after you D-Bomb him. So it's not even worth D-Bombing Letho against consume monsters, I don't think. Consume monsters is a bit of a tricky matchup anyways. I think I'm rambling now. Anyways, let's move on to playstyle. So as far as mulligans go, you obviously mulligan Roach. The next thing you mulligan are Brigade. The reason why is because you're going to have a lot of deck thinning with the COD combo. You also have a lot of deck thinning with Emissaries and First Lights. Emissaries can pull Brigades. Joachim can pull Brigades. They don't always, obviously, there's a bit of RNG there, but you're going to have plenty of chances to get Brigades in the game. Plenty of chances. So, Brigades aren't necessary. The same goes for Ambassador. Emissaries pull Ambassadors, First Light pulls Ambassadors. So, those are generally the things I get rid of first. You also get rid of potentially dead cards if you don't think you're going to need Thunder, or if you don't think you're going to need D-Bomb. Though I encourage you to keep D-Bomb. And then for the last thing that you get rid of, I believe, is First Lights. Unless you're fighting against weather, unless you know that you need First Lights, you probably want like at least one. But if you have everything in your hand that you want, if you really want all the other cards, but you're still searching for the COD combo, then maybe you get rid of like a First Light. Obviously, you want to get rid of Engineers in the last round with the Nilfgaard passive. So that's mulligan phase. There's a really big playstyle thing that I think is really important with this deck, and I think it's your approach to Spies. So I basically think about Spies in 2 categories. We have our strong Spies, which is 3 Cantarellas with the COD combo, and Joachim. So that's basically 4 strong Spies. Then we have our 6 weak Spies, which are Emissaries and Ambassadors. The weak Spies aren't that detrimental to play on the other side and leave them there and not have to Calviate. The strong Spies, you should try to aim to Calviate those Spies, because the strength swing is going to be much more significant than the weak spies, especially if you're playing weak spies with brigade. So my best suggestion is commit to a spy playstyle just in case they pass. You want to commit to either strong spies, so if you have the COD combo, go for it. It's awesome. It thins the deck. You draw more cards. Go for the COD combo. Try not to play brigade. Try to hold brigade for weak spies, and then hopefully you can Calviate at the end of that round if they pass, and swing the strength in your favor. Next round, you'll go for weak spies, and then you'll go for brigade, because you'll no longer have Calviate, but each of these spies is worth 9 strength to you and 2 strength to them. So it's basically 7 strength per card. So you want to play your weak spies and you want to play your brigade in the second round. Most games don't end up like this. Most games you might play Zarthisius first round, play Stefan first round, and then pass because you're trying to get the COD combo. And then in the second round, they'll all in on you, and you'll have to just all in on spies anyway and Calviate. But I think it's beneficial to think about spies in this way, just so that you're not in a situation where you start playing Cantarellas, you play Joachim, and then you start playing your other spies, and then you haven't even started playing brigades yet, and then they pass. And in that case, brigades are going to end up dead in the last round. All right, so now we need to talk about engineers. You're going to have a lot of really high strength units on the board with your brigade synergy. There's no real need to play greedy with your engineers. There's no real need to engineer your highest strength unit because of Scorch or Bork potentially. Also, Gigny, you need to always have Gigny in the back of your head. If you have a unit on the middle row and he's like 19 strength, probably not a bad idea to engineer that unit. Probably not a bad idea. So just try to play your engineers as smart as possible. It can either win you or lose you the game. If you have to get your engineers out in the second round and lose a little bit of card advantage, usually I'd say go for it. You're obviously gonna have to make your best judgment on that, and that's it. I have nothing else to talk about with the deck. There is one small thing. There's people that come into my chat all the time and they ask about Minnow or Kahir. In my opinion, they do the same thing in a way, except Kahir pulls spies back twice, and it potentially gives them a second leader card. So there's positives and negatives to that. Minnow just destroys spies. The truth is I played Minnow in this deck. I tried it for a couple of hours, and it ended up being dead a lot and in decent amount of games. You'll see the gameplay you're watching right now is going to be a game where Calviate isn't even necessary, because the strength swing just from brigade and engineers and everything else is just significant. It's significant. It's not, you don't actually need two spy destroying units or spy swinging units. So yeah, so that's the deck. I think this deck is a lot of fun. You kind of have to think with it. The math is a big issue. You might want to pull out your notepad, which I did yesterday because I was feeling tired and was sick of mental math. So yeah, have fun with it. Break the meta with Letho. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day.